I'm going to go over a quick tutorial of weak auras, since I had a request for it. First off, you type W/WA to get to the weak auras option. You're not going to see all this shit. This is all customized stuff. So just click something else and it'll go away. But we'll start from the very beginning. Go to new. If you want the spell icon, so like say something from your spell book, like Chi Torpedo, you make it an icon. If you want it, oops. If you want it something else, you create a texture, I believe. Yeah, texture. And then there's all these different options. There's power auras, lookalikes as well. But I mostly do I mostly do icons nowadays. I use text too, because like sometimes defensive alerts, I just have it pop up text. Alright, so first off, this is the visual area under display. Make a title random shit. So you can have it auto select the icon, or you can go to a custom one, say Blade Storm. Click that. You can also, so this controls timers. You can have, if you don't want a timer, you can actually use this as a timer as well, the cooldown, and then show cooldown text. But sometimes the show cooldown text doesn't really go well, so you can do progress, or percent P for progress, so that'll show you the cooldown. You can do percent S for stacks, so it can show you how many stacks you have of whatever. You can increase the size of the text here. You can increase the size of the actual icon here if you want something ridiculous or something, and then you can adjust the movement here, or just move it over here. So that's the basic visual cues for this. You can desaturate it, you can change the coloring on it, you can change the opacity on it, or opacity, I don't know how the fuck you say that. You can make it glow. I like this. Glowing gets your attention very easily. Alright, so I'll just do the show cooldown text and whatnot, and I will keep it on automatic, so whatever I decide to have the spell tracking. Alright, so we're going to go to triggers next. This is the important part. This is as it as it implies, this is the trigger that causes this weak aura to go off. So let's let's go with this buff. So I wish this was easier to spell. So I don't even know how to say this. Holy shit. Magnum Opus. So you change it to automatically. And that's the basic for buffs and debuffs. You can change if it's the target that you're selecting, or the player, or a pet, or multi-targets, or someone in your group, and then you can control if it's a buff or debuff. That's the basics for buffs and debuffs. And then you can go in deeper, and you can also create multiple triggers. So if you want, say, this buff, but to only show when, say, something like your full life or something, player health equals 100%. And then you have to make sure, if you want it to be both triggers, you have to select all triggers. And if you want it to be one, or any of the triggers, you select any trigger, and it will go, basically right now with any trigger, it will show this when I'm at either 100% life, or it will show it when Pydravs is giving me this buff. So right now it's showing as it should, and then This should still show it. Yep, still showing. Now if I drop health, it should go away. And now it's gone. And then if I heal to full, it'll come right back. Yep. So that's how multi triggers work. You can also do custom scripts and stuff. That's a lot harder to do. I still struggle with that stuff, but I can kind of make it work. But yeah. So the next step, I really hope the sound's actually on, because that would suck if it was not capturing audio. All right, cool. We're good. All right, so I kind of skipped a step though. So this is the buffs and debuffs. So I already showed this somewhat, but you can also go to status. If you wanted to track health, player, target, anything, you can track health via status, and basically anything here. Action usable, spell cooldowns, casting GCDs, stances, unit characteristics, power, like all this stuff. This basically covers the majority of stuff. So say action usable. What's a good cocoon? Let's start with cocoon. Oh, god damn it, life cocoon. All right, there we go. So this should only show when the action is usable now. And it's showing, and let me pop it, and it's gone, which I already have a cocoon thing set up, but you get the gist. And then so the difference for the spell cooldown is that you can control the timer. So what this does is it allows you to say only show the icon or the icon when it's coming off cooldown in 30 seconds or something, or like it basically gives you more customization and charges and shit like that. Then if you were looking to track an enemy cooldown, events. So you go to events, and this actually gives you even more options. The chat message one is kind of cool. I actually use that one to coordinate with my partner with no voice in Arena. So you can press a button that spams a macro that says something in chat, and my weak auras will track it and prompt what weak aura I want displayed from that message. So in this case, it's Para Arena 1, Para Arena 2. Let me show you those. If I can find them. That's the downfall of having so much of this shit. Because cooldown announcer. There we go. There's Para A1, A2, A3 healer. I also have it set up for cocoon, so like you can see when my cocoon is, when I'm trying to spam cocoon on him, and I have it set up for a life percent, I believe. So if he's below 50% life, and I'm trying to spam this ability, it'll show him when I'm trying to do that, because it spams a chat macro. Let's find back our original thing. Shit. Random shit. There we go. I knew it was shit something. Alright, so on to combat log, because that's the major one. You can also do spell equipment slots and stuff like that. But combat log is a major one. So you can do this based off of spell. Generally, like, spell is all I've needed to use, except maybe once. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be the go-to. Cast start, cast success, or applied, all this stuff, pretty important. So we want to, let's say an enemy uses a cooldown. So cast success. Source unit, you can select a specific unit if you want. So like Arena 2 or Arena 1. But or you could just not, and it'll just trigger when anyone uses that ability. So Source. You want to make sure this, if you're going to do that though, source not in group. That way, if your partner uses it, you don't see a trigger for it. Um, you can also do it based off of destination unit. So if say if a rogue uses Vendetta on me, I can set it up to have it a destination unit being me, and then the spell name Vendetta. But this is more the source unit is going to be more so for them popping cooldowns themselves. So like if they're popping evasion or something, yeah. Let's see here, timer. So this will be how long you have that displayed. So because unlike the buff/debuff section, this has a set timer. So if it's something that refreshes, then you're not going to want to do this. You're going to want to do an aura, one of those buff auras. But if it's a cooldown or something, this basically can set up a cooldown tracker for the enemy. So say let's do 120 for Cocoon, and then we're going to do source unit player. Type in make sure to have the name spelled correctly and have caps on this, unless you're using spell ID. But the capitalization stuff matters. All right, so cast success, Cocoon. All right, we should be good. Now nothing's there because I haven't casted it yet. So now I pop it, and it shows a 2-minute cooldown, which I kind of fucked up on because it should be 1 minute 30 or 1 minute 30 or 3 minutes, but whatever. But you get the idea. So basically, that allows you to track enemy cooldowns in that same way. You just have the source unit not in group instead of selecting yourself for that. All right, so the other options. Conditions, I haven't played around with this. This is kind of new. The load option, so there's load options, there's sound options and stuff. So if you wanted to, you could have sound triggers. I didn't like that, so I ended up turning it off. You can have animations, which are, if you have problems being with attention, this can help because bouncy shit and flips and shit. it gets your attention. I'll turn that off. Then there's actions. Yeah, I went over that. And then loading. So loading is important. So you don't want to fuck this up because you'll think that you fucked something up in the trigger if you don't have the load settings right. So every now and then I'll have never selected on something if like I'm playing around with something but I haven't finished it. I'll check never, and then I'll go back to work on it and I'll forget to uncheck it, and then I'll dick around with settings trying to make it work, and it's never going to work because never is selected. So you need to make sure that you don't expect things to work when you have load settings that are not there. So you can do in combat, in vehicle. I don't know who the fuck would use that. In group, player class is an important one. So if you're tracking a monk cooldown or something, if you're tracking your own monk cooldown, say Cocoon, you'd want to select monk and Mistweaver so it doesn't load on your other characters as well. Not that it's going to trigger, but it's a good habit to have it not load just to stop it from consuming any memory. Not sure if it actually does or not, if it's a class that doesn't have it, but yeah. You could also do it based off of PvP talents. So healing sphere, say I wanted to take a healing sphere or fortune turns as I accidentally click that. Basically, you can have it specifically only when you take healing sphere. So the rest of the time, it won't pop up. So if you do a specific cooldown tracker for a specific spell, you can do that with honor talents and normal talents. You can also set it up for racials, player race, player faction, player level, instance type an important one. So if you only wanted to see stuff in arena, you can select arena, and it's only going to load in arena then. So like if you're tracking enemy kicks or whatever, or enemy cooldowns, and you don't want to see that shit in world, you can select arena, and it will only load in arena. But again, that's one of those things. If you're going to test it, or if you want to test it beforehand, don't select this. You only select this after you get it working, because then you're going to either need to deselect this if you remember to, or do it in a skirmish and test it. But yeah, that's pretty much the basics. Oh, you can select multiple key factors too. So if you wanted this to show in battlegrounds, 40-man raids, and arena, you could just check those and add to it. Let's see if there's anything else I'm missing. That looks pretty good. There's another. I'll go into something a bit more advanced. There's also, so you can have this. Basically, you can have groups of things. So you could do a standard group, or you can do a dynamic group. Standard groups, you know, they're just a cluster of stuff. You can move them in a group or whatever. Dynamic groups basically act like an interrupt bar. So like if you see one of the cooldowns pop, it'll like shift on its own. Let me demonstrate. Let's do live cocoon. Where's my random shit macro? God damn it. I think it's selected for arena only, so it's in. Let's just type it into the search. Yeah, you got to be careful with those damn load parameters. All right, well, let's move this into Cocoon's thing. All right, so I'm gonna duplicate this so I have another one to work with. That's a good example I can use. So let's do enveloping this. So I'm gonna switch this to an aura. We'll do this, or the PyDrive thing, and then I will also do enveloping mist. And let's do another for renewing mist. Alright, so currently it's only showing PyDrives. Now, if I pop renewing mist, it shows up. And if I pop enveloping mist, it shows up as well. You can also change the directions and stuff. You can go to, the group options are different than normal groups. So you can, let's see here. So grow down, you can have it centered horizontally, so it'll expand like that. Move this to 0 spacing. Sort. This can control if it sorts by how much time is remaining or whatnot. And then you can have the combination of the two, or you can have it, basically you can have it in a specific order, ascending or descending, so you can have it always prioritize random shit, then random shit 2, and then random shit 3. But yeah, animated expanding and collapsing makes it look better, smoother. So you cast a renewing mist and it pops out like that. Cast an enveloping mist and it pops out like that. So that's the basic gist of weak auras. In the end, it takes just dicking around with it and getting used to it, and then after a while, you just build up more and more until you look like mine, where it's just a fucking clusterfuck of weak auras. You got to be careful though. You don't want to get overly carried away, because at a certain point, it will start lagging you. I actually have my settings set to low because of lag issues. I'm not sure if setting my settings to lower actually affects it or not. But yeah, you want to be careful. You don't want to super overdo it like I do, because I have things that basically, I have big debuffs, I have interrupt trackers, I have arena, or Gladius essentially built into my weak auras, so while this is a great add-on, it is not. It's not always going to be the best for displaying information like that. Uh, that's a lie. You can actually make it probably effective via coding, but I am not good with coding at all. So, um, but yeah, I'm rambling now. So I'm gonna conclude this. I hope you enjoyed. Hope this helped. If you need help with anything, let me know in the comments or whatever. And peace.